Hey, what's up? My name is Samuel Leeds. This week's Winners on a Wednesday, we have David Taylor. David Taylor has done pretty much every property investment strategy since coming to the Property Investors Crash Course only just under a year ago, killing it, just secured a no money down deal with a gross development value of 1.4 million, and I'm gonna be picking his brain. He's gonna be telling you everything. So when we first met, you had been in property for, well, all your life.
Yeah, 21 years, in fact. I was in construction originally. I went to my dad's fabrication company, left school at 15, started there day after we left school, worked all the way through, and then ended up becoming offered a job in a drawing office in Blackpool. Took a half a pay cut because I went from being a qualified fabricator to an office junior again. But then I progressed the way up to becoming a structural engineer, and then in 1990, I became a partner in a multidisciplinary practice and carried on from there.
And when we met, you were very experienced in property, but you hadn't really been doing investment for yourself. You'd been more doing stuff for other people, right?
Yes, doing it for all my clients, making them millionaires for years.
Right, but you hadn't been doing it for yourself. And it's interesting because when you were at the crash course, which was that last year now?
Yes, it was last July. It was actually my 50th birthday present to myself.
Yeah.
I said to my partner Michelle that she asked me what I wanted for my 50th birthday. I said, well, I've actually booked on this Samuel Leeds crash course. And she said, what's that? So I had to explain to her, showed her some of your videos. And then we went down to London. It was the Ibis Hotel. We stayed in there. And then I signed up for the DFE the first day. And then we got talking at the night. She said, you need to do you got to do the academy, because she knows that I would obviously do well in it, probably. That's obviously why I'm here now, hopefully.
Yeah.
And so we did that. And then, but as part of the bargain we had, because it was my birthday, she booked to go to Paris 24 hours later. So then we went straight to Paris after the...
So that was a crazy weekend.
Yes.
When was did your actual birthday fall under while you were at the crash course?
Yes.
Oh, no way.
I used it my 50th birthday.
So you were, on your 50th birthday, you were actually at the crash course, being accused of being miserable by me.
Yes.
What happened?
I got in, we went straight to the front row.
Yeah.
I was sat there, because I was concentrating that much, listening. I had my arms folded, and obviously I had a quite serious face.
Let's see your serious face, let's see it. yeah, that was it.
Yeah, and obviously I was concentrating that hard on what you were saying, and afterwards you came up to us and just said to us, did you find that boring, or what was the problem?
Yeah.
I saw you sat there and you just... you didn't seem interested. He said, no, honestly, I was really interested. I was concentrating that hard on what you were saying.
Yeah.
That I just come across as being a bit...
You know what's funny though? How many people were there at that event? Do you remember?
There must have been about 600 at least.
Probably 1,000.
Yeah.
Probably 1,000.
Probably was actually, yeah.
If it was at the Ibis.
Yeah, it would have been, yeah.
But anyway, hundreds and hundreds. But the fact that I spotted you and I came over to you and said, how you doing? Are you doing okay? That's how sensitive I am to my audience, see?
Yeah.
Little did I know, it was your 50th birthday. And not only that, but you'd come and you told me just recently that you wanted to do every single strategy in property. So you joined the academy. Firstly, how was the crash course?
It's fantastic, yeah. It totally changed everything, because I wouldn't have been doing one now if I hadn't gone on the crash course. I'd have probably just thought about it and done nothing about it, but it actually does motivate you to do the actual physical parts of doing it.
I don't know if I've ever told you this. Can I tell you why I wanted you to join the academy so bad?
No, go on.
Two reasons. Reason number one, because I knew you were going to do really well, and you've been in property for years and years and years, and I kind of wanted to take a little bit of credit for your success.
Yeah.
Reason number two, because you literally, when we were speaking at the crash course, you've got a background of architect and engineering, and I thought you're so knowledgeable when it comes to property. I knew that the academy members would love having you on the academy. So I thought you'd actually be an asset to the academy. So it's kind of very selfish of me, really.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's worked out for me in the end as well, because I've enjoyed passing my knowledge on to everybody as well.
And you have. You've passed it. In fact, I've learned things from you about property.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
You know, so, and I think that's the thing with the academy. It's more than just a training program. Yes, you get loads of different training programs, but also it's a community.
Yeah.
You joint venture, you network. And I know you've done a lot of joint venturing, a lot of networking, and done all kinds of deals. Talk me through some of your deals.
Yeah, well, the actual first deal I had from joining and at the academy and doing the crash course,
Yeah.
I was looking to source a piece of land on. I hadn't become compliant as a deal source at that point in time, so I approached another academy member, which is James Armstrong, to try and source.
His name always
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
up.
Yeah, and together with Anthony, I was trying to find an investor for us.
Yeah.
That would have been a fee of £26,000. So I was quite happy to take the land sourcing fee. We did find an investor, but for reasons they decided not to continue. So I was speaking to the land agent who was actually selling on the land. Unbeknown to me at the time, he had actually bought in the land himself.
Yeah.
And he just said, do you think we could build out the houses? Well, I said, certainly. I've been doing this for years for all my clients. So I said, right, okay. We looked at finding an investor then. So we got an investor to put all the funds, and then we talked about getting a builder on board to do it as a joint venture. Yeah. So I spoke to somebody I know is a local builder, he's a young lad, and we decided to do a joint venture construction company to build out the houses. The houses is three detached houses. It has a GDV of 1.4 million, and it says a return on investment of about 35%, which is about 450,000 when it's complete. And it's due to start in the next couple of weeks.
So you've completed on that?
Yeah, it's complete. It's got full planning approval, planning discharged, contracts drawn and drafted, and we're ready to start hitting the ground in the next couple of weeks.
And you're going to make just under £500,000 as a joint venture.
Yeah.
Question, how much money did you put into that deal?
It was a no money down deal for myself, so they do exist. It's just not a penny, not even a penny.
So you didn't put a penny into the deal? What do you think when people say you can't do no money down deals?
Well, they're not right. They do happen. They can happen. Obviously, it's no money down for me, but there is some money down for somebody else.
For him, there is.
But he's making the biggest profit.
Yeah.
So that's
fine.
For me, I'm happy. I've not invested a penny of my own money. I've got to put a time into it, but again, time's quite free.
Yeah.
Relatively so, but again, so it's been a very good deal for us.
And you've done that, but you've also done a series of other deals, which we can talk about. Yeah. You've done rent to rent, you've done options, you've done buy, refurbish, refinance, you've done buy to lets. You've absolutely been smashing it for these last, how many months have you been on the academy?
I officially did my launch pad in November.
Yeah.
So it's
8 months?
8 months, yeah. I did the crash course in July, launch pad in November.
So similar kind of time to Darren and Ella.
Yeah, I've met Darren and Ella on the launch pad.
Who were on Winners Wednesday just a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
In fact, they were the ones that made you want to come on Winners Wednesday.
I saw the post afterwards, after I had the phone call from yourself. I saw the post where Darren said it's about time you had yourself on it, and I hadn't realised he put that up, and then Ella and then Callum, a few other people had commented.
Because you weren't easy to get on this show, were you? You have to admit it.
I did not want to come on it originally. I've said no before, just purely because I didn't think I was ready for it. But obviously, and people have explained to me that obviously that deal is quite a big deal to me.
It's a massive deal, and not only that, but you've done loads of other deals. Yeah. So we can always do a part 2, Winners Wednesday, once you're a multi-millionaire.
I'll definitely be on it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Talk to me about some of the other deals though, because when you came on the academy. Yeah. You weren't really aware of things like serviced accommodation and these different strategies, and you've managed to combine them really well. Tell me about the deal that you bought, which you've done as a buy, refurbish, refinance / serviced accommodation / and you've just talked to me about that deal because it's brilliant.
That was actually I used a deal sourcer as well.
Yeah. To
find that one.
Who was the deal sourcer?
It was John and Becky.
Okay, John and Becky. Yeah. Great. They've also been on Winners Wednesday.
Yeah. I got talking to them because they were Blackpool, and they just said, "I found this property. It's a cracking deal." I said, "Yeah." I looked at the figures, did my own due diligence as well as theirs, and it was fantastic. Yeah. So if it's a straightforward buy to let, that's what I was intending to do. It would have been either a buy, refurbish, refinance, and rent, and it would have grossed about £300 a month. Yeah. Or a straight flip, it would have been a £22,000 profit. Yeah. So it worked on that end. And then I went on the rent to rent revolution. Yeah. And then we talked about SAs on that. And then I thought, where it is situated in Blackpool, that would make a cracking SA. So then I redid the figures on it, and it was a no-brainer. It turned out to be well over £1,500 a month.
Profit. So hold on a minute. You bought the house. How much did you pay for it?
We paid 51,000 for it.
Okay, and how much did you spend doing it up?
It's £10,000.
So you invested in total 61 grand.
Yeah.
And how did you finance that? Did you use your own cash? Did you use bridging?
We was intending to use bridging, but because of the short time scale and everything, we used our own cash.
Fine.
It also made the deal a bit more sweeter because you're not paying the bridging fees.
You haven't got to pay fees. So you put 61 grand in. 51 grand you bought it, and you spent 10 grand doing it up.
Yeah.
What did the refinance valuation come back at?
It's coming back at about 83,000.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So we as soon as it's finished, we'll get it remortgaged on a buy-to-let.
Yeah.
Mortgage, that's going to be about £149 a month. And then because we own it, with no rent to pay, so it works even better for an SA.
Yeah.
So
so you were expected to make about £1,500 a month profit on that?
Yeah.
That's just absolutely insane.
Yeah, and that's based on a 75% occupancy as well.
Which is realistic.
Yeah, for Blackpool, yeah.
And you know that it will work as an SA because you've got a rent to SA in Blackpool.
Yeah. It's a joint venture. It's just outside Blackpool. It's a place called Lytham St Anne's,
okay,
which is a slightly more affluent area. So, in that property, we can get it rented out for £200 to £250 a night. It's got its own private gated entrance. It's got 2 private parking spaces. It's a 2-bedroom villa apartment. Mm-hmm. And you can land a helicopter in the front lawn.
Oh goodness!
So it's right on the seafront in Lytham St Anne's. So
fantastic.
Them opportunities don't come up very often. So
and that's all live now.
It'll be live in about 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay.
Because we can't open it yet.
Is that because of Corona?
Corona, yeah.
So when that goes live, what kind of cash flow are you expecting to make from that one rent-to-rent property?
Because it's a joint venture, it's meant to make £1,000 each net. But I think we'll end up making more. But if we work on the conservative, it'll be at least 1,000 because it should gross about 3-4.
Why would you mess around doing a rent-to-rent when you're making you've got a 1.4 million gross development value? What's your strategy? What's going on here?
I wanted to do all strategies when I first joined the academy, but that gives cash flow. Now the development one will be cash flow. Will be
you'll make a load of money down the line.
Down the line.
Yeah.
But for now, it helps on the cash flow, and also it makes money. It'd be silly not to do any of the strategies that don't make money.
Yeah.
I got a telephone call. Joe wanted to be a joint venture on it. I looked at the numbers. Again, it was a straightforward yes. It took us. I spoke to Michelle, my partner, just say, are we happy? Because we have a property business together that we both own. So we just said, yeah, the numbers stacked up, and that was it. We carried on. And
what's your motivation behind making all this money in property, doing all these strategies?
When I went for the first crash course and then joined the academy, the reasons behind was to build a legacy mainly for the children, and also build wealth for ourselves.
Yeah.
But a legacy that we can build our own portfolio up that they can share in, so they can all get some sort of profit from it in future. Again, if they want to be involved in property, they can all come on board. A couple of them have already helped. You
mentioned that Oliver's doing property now with you.
Yeah, Oliver's done some property with us now. He's doing some of the construction work on one of the actual units. It was just mainly to show them that you don't have to do the work yourself, but at least they've got to do it now. If you show, we're stripping wallpaper, things like that. We're doing the basics now with damp course. We actually knocked the plaster off. It was an 8.5 ton skip. We knocked all the plaster off the wall, we loaded it up, but I was trying to prove a point that perhaps if you were searching for a property or looking for other things, but it's good to get your hands dirty, because I got my hands dirty with my father working from construction, and once it kind of gives you the value of somebody else's money worth.
And also, once you know how it's done, it doesn't mean you've then got to do it, right?
Yes, it doesn't. You don't have to do it, and we probably would never do it ever again to that extent.
Yeah.
Your time's more valuable doing something else when you've only got a limited time. Hence why I would always use. I wouldn't be adverse using deal sourcer, because whilst we can find our own, sometimes you're too busy doing something else for that month, and really you've got to carry on buying properties. So if the children can learn to do deal sourcing, which is what they're looking at now, then they can find the properties, but they can also sell them on to other investors. So we're looking to gain our investor list now. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
We became compliant in February, but because of Corona, we've just decided to concentrate on what we're physically doing.
Although you've been busier than ever though during this lockdown.
I have, yeah. We have never stopped looking. We were looking for land parcels then. I've been looking for quite a lot of land because you couldn't do the physical viewings on the properties. But so we're looking for getting uplift on plots of land. Say there was a house what you could build in the back garden, or you could find another property where it might have a driveway where you could build a terrace property. We lost one. Well, we was due to purchase one last week in auction. We had all the funds in place. We asked the auction house. It was a modern auction online, the modern system of auction online. But we asked, could we put an offer in before? They said no. The day of the auction came, we sat there getting ready to make our bids. Sold prior to auction.
Oh,
we was extremely mad. We was fuming. We rang up the auction house. Said, you told us we couldn't make a pre-bid. They said, oh no, that came from a different office. So they said, well you know, so it was, that was an end of terrace. It was up for 90,000. It needed about £30,000 spending on to do the property up, but we could build 2 terraced houses in the driveway next to it, which would have been 145,000 each. So that would have been a massive deal. But again, like you say, you got to celebrate your successes and your disappointments. You just got to
discipline your disappointments.
That's I couldn't remember it. That's the one.
Yeah.
And we have done that. We've had a few things like that. We were looking at buying another auction property. There was a slight problem. It actually ended up being the bridging finance being the issue.
Yeah.
Because we were going to title split it, and they wouldn't let us title split prior to the bridge. So we ended up forgetting about that property because we've also learned very quickly, if there's too many issues, just go on to the next deal. There's always another deal around the corner.
Exactly.
Forget about that one.
Yeah, and people get so hung up, don't they? Get so emotionally attached to the idea of doing a deal, they end up almost throwing their brains out.
Yeah.
And that's why I always say it's about formulas, not feelings.
Yeah, but I learned that very rapidly. That you're spot on. If there's too many problems and the numbers don't work, just forget it. Go on to the next one.
What was the feeling like when you refinanced your first house and pulled all your money out of that buy to let?
That's fantastic. Yeah, great. It was quite a large sum. It was 17,000. And also no capital gains tax because you've increased your debt. So that's the most satisfying part of it.
And we talk about this at the crash course even, about at the no capital gains tax when you refinance. Yeah. So you pulled out all your money and some?
Yes.
How much extra?
Currently it's about 6,000. It's due to be refinanced again, which we're not going to over leverage. I'm just going to keep it at 75%.
Yeah. So it's just going up and up, that one then?
Yeah, it's going up, yeah.
And you've also, you've done not done a HMO yet.
No.
But what was the other deal as well that you were working on?
There's 3 plots of land that we're currently negotiating with the landowners to put options on to gain the planning uplift. We're on the land. We were looking to put small to light industrial units on, so they could have like a B1, B2 and B8, which is B1, you got office use, you've got light industrial, and then you've got B8 storage use, but they are small. The value of them is less than £100,000 each unit, but that means that a joiner, a builder or a small office can purchase them or rent them off you. So they're quite a profitable series of developments. But obviously there's a planning process, so we'll always put an option on first on the land and then split some of the profit with the landowner rather than having to buy it in and take the risk.
I can see why Academy members queue up to pick your brain. And I want to get onto some of the FAQs that you get to add value to all the YouTube watchers. Of the training programs that you've done obviously buy, refurbish, refinance, you've done all the different strategies. Which one was the biggest aha moment for you?
Yeah, straight. The rent to rent revolution with the SA, because that one made a massive difference to that one individual property. The deal selling mastery, which is a different way. I've dealt with land agents and I've dealt with property agents and things like that, but not to the straightforward buy-to-lets. You can sell them on. I was amazed you could, and I bought one. Yeah. I'm a prime example of, I purchased a buy-to-let. I paid a fee for it. It freed up some of my time, but it showed me it is possible to do it on a small scale. Yeah. I've been used to, one of the reasons as well for joining the Academy is to learn all the initial stuff that I missed. Yeah. Because I was doing large property deals for my clients, but I missed about the HMOs, we wouldn't necessarily be looking for turning a 2-bed into a 4-bed. Yeah. We'd be buying a 4-bed turning it into a 6 or 8-bed. Yeah. Things like that. So that has opened our eyes up, and like I've got an option on one of the properties now, which it's going through at the moment. It just got delayed because of COVID, the valuation, and that's in Burnley. That one's a 2-bed with 2 reception rooms. I can make it a 4-bed HMO, and it's in a HMO area. So, but once that completes, then I'll have a look at that one. But it still works as a buy-to-let, because also you also teach about outs. You've got to have a number of outs. Yeah. The more you have, the better it is. So that one works as a straightforward buy-to-let, but also as an HMO, it will probably quadruple the revenue. Yeah. So
that's great. Yeah. And you've made so many friends on the Academy.
Yes. Yeah. It's been fantastic. I mean, the Academy, I know it is a family of people. Everybody's got the same interest. They all want to do well. They want to get well in property. Everybody helps each other. You can network. You can basically, people bring each other up any time of the day. Yeah. There's also support from yourself, Russell, Alistair, Ricky, Anthony. I've never had a problem with being able to message anybody and not had a response. And also I still ask questions. I don't know everything. But I'm happy to help people as well. So if it's something that I can help, I will always offer the help. I did say at the beginning, I would always, during my property journey, I wanted to help as many people become financially free as well as myself. Yeah. And if I can help them in any little way, I would. In any knowledge I've gained, I would do. So
that's great, and that's part of the vision of our company.
Yeah, which is why I like when I spoke to you that first time after the crash course, because I kind of got the understanding what you want to do, and
once you'd finished folding your arms and frowning at me, you suddenly. Yeah. But you know what though, your reason for doing what you're doing for your kids, I think is really amazing, because you talked about potentially as well setting all the properties up in a trust, which goes on to your kids, to your grandkids, to your great grandkids.
A perpetual trust. That was the intention. So they could never sell the properties. They could sell them if there was an emergency. Yeah. But they couldn't sell a certain percentage. I spoke to solicitors, and that it can be done, and hopefully we'll have enough properties eventually to be able to do that. And it'd be a passive income if they need to draw off it, if not.
What a great way to leave a legacy though. Yeah. To be the first person in potentially a whole family tree of history to leave an asset, a portfolio that's protected, that's giving a passive income. That's incredible. Yeah. What do your parents do? Are they in construction?
Well, my dad's passed away, but my dad had a fabrication company. And I worked for him from the day after I left school at 15, and I worked for him, became a fully qualified fabricator, engineer, welder, and then left there to go to work for a drawing office in Blackpool, and then worked my way up there. Did 12 years at night school, because I kind of left school with very little qualifications. I was going to be a fabricator, so I didn't really need any qualifications other than being able to work with my hands. Yeah. I wasn't the most academic of students I would say, but I had to go back and did me A-level maths and did everything to then at night school to then become an engineer, and then we progressed into a multidisciplinary practice now. We have 5 staff that work for us. We do from simple porch extensions to football stadiums we design. So
incredible. And you've also, I believe I'm right in saying this, you've set up a new construction company just as a result of the workload that you were getting from one of your big deals that you got off the Academy and all the network that you've got. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. How's that going?
We obviously the 3 houses was due to build for ourselves. We decided with the builder to set up a joint venture company to do that one and build that one out. And then we're actually doing for another Academy member and an investor a 13-bed HMO in Burnley, and then we're doing a pub conversion, doing the construction work for that. We've also got some small industrial units that we're going to build out for ourselves, but it's turned into about £1.8 million worth of work in less than 8 months.
That's incredible.
But again, because we know what they need.
Yeah.
On the HMOs, we can help them out and get the plans drawn or modified and keep the build costs down.
How many times do you think you'll have earned back your academy fee?
Multiples. multiples. The first deal would have earned it about twofold.
Yeah.
That even if I sold the land off, never mind constructing it, and the rent, well, the SA in Blackpool more than covers it. I'm more than happy with the.
Because that's the thing. I think sometimes people that think that the training is expensive, it's probably not for them. Because if you're going to do the business anyway, if you're going to do deals and you're going to, it kind of makes sense for the network and for the training you're going to get. I think it kind of makes sense to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, you at the time when I signed up for the academy, Michelle's we signed up for the DFE first.
I remember persuading Michelle.
Michelle, you offered her such a good deal that she came on the DFE, and but the following day she said to me, "You've got to go and do it." She knows I will succeed in it, and obviously she backed me up. And to be honest, if Michelle wasn't backing me up, I don't think I'd have been where we are today. It's made a massive difference that if you have a partner that's interested in it and they support you all the way through, there's been no negativity on regarding me doing it and carrying on. And I did have a heart attack paying the fee. I'm not saying it is a lot of money, but it's got it. You did actually say to me, he said, if it doesn't hurt you, you're not going to put the effort in.
Yeah.
I'm one of these person that probably, if it was only a couple of grand, you wouldn't have put the effort in. And it wouldn't waste for me. But it's been value in the end. The value you get from it, I've got from it anyway, has been more than adequate for me. I mean, it's been fantastic.
We've had a lot of value from you being members, and Michelle's incredible. We've just had a barbecue before filming with yourself and Michelle. Some of the questions that the Academy members ask you, because I know they all pick your brain, you pick their brain, they ask you about permitted development. What is permitted development?
Well, permitted development is, it's effectively, the local authority have certain aspects of a build that allow you to do without actually applying for planning permission. You can build small extensions at the back, single-story extensions up to 3 metres high and a certain distance away from the building, which you don't need planning permission for. You can do permitted development, which is probably more prevalent now for a lot of people on the academy, where they're starting to progress to the next level, where they're going from commercial to residential.
Yeah.
So if you get a commercial office, you can convert it into residential without planning permission. So I've been asked lots of questions. Is it just straightforward? It is. It's just straightforward. You can get any office block and turn it into residential.
Yeah.
Again, there's also some regarding commercial to residential in a main shopping area. You can get permission to build the flats above, but still have to keep the retail down.
And right now, with what's going on with the lockdown and the pandemic, I think commercial to residential is a very attractive strategy, because there's a lot of offices and empty warehouses and units which are selling quite cheap at the moment. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yes, well, as the high street starts to come back online, there'll be even more, because some of the smaller shops, smaller premises won't be reopening.
Yeah.
A lot of businesses have gone online. You can still keep. What will happen? I think what will happen is they'll because you can get permitted development to release part of the ground floor area into residential. You will only have a small shop front, and then the rest will be residential now in the town centres. There'll be a lot more of it happening. Again, the younger generation now want to live in towns.
Yeah.
So it's becoming more prevalent to live back in, have more flats, apartments, and in city centres, which is what's happening in Manchester. I've been working on a lot of apartment blocks in Manchester.
So you can really push the value up by turning a commercial property into residential in a centre.
Yes, definitely.
What about land? You talk a lot about land, you do a lot of land. A lot of Academy members ask you, I think the biggest question that you say comes up is, how do you value a piece of land?
Yeah. Effectively, we've been asking quite a few questions about land appraisal.
Yeah.
So it's finding a plot of land, finding out what the land value should be at, or how much you should be paying for the land, what the uplift value will be if you get planning permission on that land, and it effectively I've sat with a couple of them and gone through the various stages of looking through the local plan, assessing the local plan to see what type of permitted development would be there or what type of development they would allow. Sometimes it's greenbelt, which you can't do.
Yeah.
Also, it's the uplifting the value of the land. You can find what's called infill plots, which are a small plot of open land in between that's what affects a residential area, which is you can build developments on, but they're almost guaranteed planning permission. They call it, well, it's an infill plot, so it means you're not building in a greenbelt area.
Mm-hmm.
We're also being asked to look at how you value the land mainly. So I've been going through the process of that with a couple of them and explaining, there's various aspects to value the land, and there's documents you need to read. It's not just straightforward.
It's not as easy as going on mouse price.
No, it's not as easy as that. No, but it is relatively simple, but it's a lot of research and a lot of comparables.
Yeah.
But also, sometimes I just recommend you get a backup with a RIC surveyor. But before you make the offer and pay for a RIC surveyor, you need to know the basics.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I think one of the really interesting things that I see you posting on the Academy group and on the forum is about buying properties where you don't need to pay stamp duty.
Yeah.
And also properties that might be unmortgageable, that you can make them mortgageable and then refinance them. And you gave the definition of what makes a property exempt from stamp duty. And to be honest, I was like, I never knew that was the exact reason, because I know if a property is uninhabitable, you don't need to pay stamp duty. But what does inhabitable mean? Because you shared this with me and it was very useful.
Yeah, most people think it's more than what it actually really is. Actually, the term uninhabitable for mortgage purposes is the main one is no running hot water or no central heating, which the no running hot water means if the boiler does not work and cannot be easily repaired, which in some instances it has to have a brand new boiler installed, it's not mortgageable at that point, so it becomes uninhabitable. So that's
brilliant.
That's how you get the stamp
So
duty.
we just find houses with a boiler that needs replacing, which might cost what, £1,000 or £2,000, and then suddenly you don't pay stamp duty. Yeah,
you have to go through with your solicitor, and the solicitor has to log that with the HMRC. But it is a straightforward process. The other one is it's got severe damp. That's another reason for it being uninhabitable. The electrics, but the main one is actually the simplest one is that when there's no hot water, because you can't have heating. There's nowhere to wash hands.
But you don't need all of these problems. You just need one of them, right?
Yeah.
So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So what are your plans over the next sort of? Well, you've been on the Academy for 8 months. What are your plans for the next 8 months?
We're carrying on to actually build up our own property portfolio. So we would like to do an HMO. Yeah. That's one of the things we haven't been.
That's one of the very few strategies you've not done out of all. You've raised finance, joint venture, options, serviced accommodation. Yeah. Land, but not HMO.
No, but that's one we want to do. Me and Michelle, that was what we actually started looking for. Because we know that's the best way to get it covers your voids, because if you have one, you might only have 1 or 2 people out of the property at any time. It's the best strategy for the small terrace properties, or the 4 or 5 bedrooms. I would like to do a large HMO, but again, I think that's quite a way off yet. And also carry on as we are, just building up our portfolio. I'd like to do a few more essays, I think.
Essays, well, you're making a lot of money off essays at the moment, so that's a good one.
So that'll be another one, and just carrying on, really.
You've started on the Deal Selling Masterclass online version as well.
Yes.
How's that going?
It's going great, actually, yeah. I really want to do the live course, but again, I found out that you can, with the online version, you can keep going back and rewatching it.
Yeah.
And I have a pretty bad memory sometimes, as people who know me very well will say. So it's ideal for me to keep going watching it.
Yeah.
And then I can do my notes and things like that. And sometimes you do miss that key bit of information because you're trying to concentrate and write down everything else. But again, together with that, obviously the live version it's a strange version. Online is good and it's good for going backwards, but the live version, you can't just hide. You've got to do it. There's a group of you there. You're all helping each other. Sitting on your own is okay and doing it.
Yeah.
The actual live version is that
And we love having you at the events, honestly, because I don't think you can beat the physical live training program. The online stuff's going really well. It's helping the Academy members. What would you say to somebody who was considering doing the Property Investors Crash Course? What would your advice be?
You got to do it. That's it. Simple as that. You've got to experience it to understand, and don't be scared. You get showed enough to be able to actually make a deal and carry on. And then obviously there's other strategies and things you need to learn and probably do better on. But it changed. Well, like I said, I won't be sat here now if I hadn't gone to the crash course. And I think I posted. I think it always starts at the crash course. I think that was one of the.
It all starts at the crash course.
Yeah. And I'm definitely support that. It does, because it does. It's a mindset thing as well. Because you are physically doing everything there. You're ringing the agents. You're booking the viewings. You haven't gone home and sat home and done nothing. You've actually done it. So you've done it there, and you're going out the next day or the week after, which quite a few of the Academy members who've always been on. Well, the other ones I've spoken to have all done the crash course, and they won't be where they are if they haven't done the crash course.
Yeah. Well, I'm really impressed with what you've done. Thank you for all the value you've brought onto the Academy. Thanks for coming on Winners Wednesday. I know this isn't going to be the first time you're going to be on YouTube. There's going to be a part 2 coming very soon. And thanks so much for coming on the show. Wish you all the best in the future.
Thanks, Samuel.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. David, what an awesome, humble guy. You want to meet people like David? You want to learn what David learned? You want to become financially free? First thing, you need to subscribe to the channel right here. Second, you need to watch more videos. You can watch more videos right here. But you know what? You want to be mentored? You want to get the training? You can do that on Samuel365. I'll leave a link in the description. Samuel365.com. Network, be trained. I'll see you real soon. Thanks for watching.